Complete our study by discussing assertions, conditions that a term in implication may be varied, and last but not the least, formal implication involved in rules of inference. It will take us to another consideration of mathematical understanding, and we'll have the topic of proper names, adjectives, and verbs when we talk about the mathematical understanding. We'll talk about the proper names, we'll talk about the adjectives, we'll talk about verbs, distinguished, and this is where we'll define terms and explain terms. We'll talk about terms. Next, we'll talk about things and their concepts related to these, and we'll continue on talking about concepts such as terms, and then we discuss concepts as such and terms as such. The next one is conceptual diversity. We move ahead and talk about meaning and the subject of logic. Move ahead and talk about verbs and truth. Next, we'll talk about all verbs perhaps express relations. The next is relations per se and relating with different relations. Next, relations are not particular by their names or by the terms. We'll move ahead to the next topic of discussion, and next we will have a discussion on denoting. First of all, we'll define denoting, then we will explain connection with the subject prepositions. We'll learn about the denoting concepts obtained from the predicates. We'll talk about extensional account of all, every, any, all, and some. Of course, we'll define them, describe them, and apply them. The extensional account of all, every, any, all, and some. Next, we have intensional account of the same. Next, we have illustrations, and then we will move ahead between all and every. Talk about etc. that lies in the objects denoted, not in the way of denoting them. The notion of the and the definition of the same. Next, we have got the notion of the and the identity of the same. We'll move on to the next topic of our discussion on tutorials. We'll deal with classes, and when we talk about classes, we talk about the combination of intentional and extensional standpoints which are required there. We talk about the meaning of class. We talk about intentional and extensional genesis of the classes. We talk about the genesis of classes. We talk about distinctions overlooked by Peano, and we discuss the class as one and the class as many. We discuss the notion of and.